Hey everybody, this is Dr. Woody with your PASL Write It Up Fast series. In step 15, you're going to need some hand holding, and I'm here for that because this one's hard. And task 3 is worth twice of the double what the other tasks are worth. So when you get this right, you're going to get double the credit for it because you're going to be awesome. So 3.2.2 focuses on your ability to lead the planning stages. So it's not about the work yet. It's about what a great facilitator you are. And so you'll be writing entries about collaboration strategies, how you ensured that everybody had listening skills and that all the voices were heard, what kinds of challenges you encountered in the planning and the setting up of the PLC and how you dealt with those, and how you found consensus. So let's take a look first at, well, before we go on, one more thing. It says the directions you have the option of recording. You don't have an option of recording. You have an option of attaching your 5-minute unedited video to this part or to the next part. But you can put it in both parts. So I would say go ahead and get it over with in 3.2.2. And then if you can use it again in 3.3.3, that's awesome. So here we go. What strategies did you use with the collaborative team members individually and as a group? So there's the important part right there. We can highlight individually and highlight group, and you better have both down in here to involve them in the planning process. Provide examples to support your explanation. If you submitted a 5-minute video segment for this section, you should use examples from it. So I'm telling you, do it. Go ahead and get this done. The way you make the full 4 points for this section, which ends up being times 2 times 2, because you have 2 graders and then it's doubled. So your 4 can turn into a 16, and that's half the test. So let's do a good job. The way you get the max amount of points is by being thorough in your answers. This one is at least adequate. I would say it's bordering between a 3 and a 4. To write a 4, you just need more description of what happened. So I used strategies from the big book of tools for collaborative teams in a PLC at work to involve individuals. Let me tell you why I put that book. Any of the solution tree books about PLC, they're all good. All of the solution tree books are good. Any of them that you click on, if you make a free account, you can access their free resources. And so I talked about that here, that I used their roles from team producer, what are these things, from this book. And then I use the book for the 4 critical questions checklist. And here's the critical questions. And then I talk about what that looked like in the video. So let me show you where I got that. All I did was I Googled PLCs at work. I went to Marzano's books and resources. And then I found the big book of tools. And then I scrolled down to, at the bottom it says free. I think I've already clicked on something here somewhere. Free resources. And so then the resources look like this. Tool, establishing team roles. You see my team roles? Team leader, that's supposed to be me. These are my jobs. Team challenger does these kinds of things. Team producer does these kinds of things. So I could have talked in more depth about how we considered each person's background, skills, abilities, and personalities. It tells that right here, to make sure that we can work together well and that we aren't just checking off boxes. And then I'll also mention this one. I love this one because these are the 4 critical PLC questions that you're supposed to lead with. And I'm going to mention this one again later in my write-up. I can already tell you. So wink, wink on that, right? So let's go back to my writing. And I talked about, this is how you document the timestamps for a video. So if I'm going to say, how will we respond when individuals do not learn? Those are my questions. And in the video, you can see a discussion of possible goals. And at the point 53 minutes, at 0 minutes and 53 seconds, team members begin mentioning their roles by name as they encourage a team member's involvement in the planning process. So let me tell you, if you're disappointed with your video, if you've recorded video footage, like let's say in your internship for one of your classes or on your own before you really read through all of this, and that ship has sailed, you can make another video. You can either go back to the people that you worked with originally, Or you can ask people to stand in for them to make a new video to demonstrate that you can do this. It's okay. The goal is to establish in the PASL that you have mastered the standards for principal certification. And this is one of the standards, is to be able to lead teams effectively. So don't worry about it if you have to remake your video, and then make your video 5 minutes, not edited, and figure out where your timestamps are, where people are doing the things that you need them to demonstrate that you actually know how to manage. Okay, so the second one says, as the collaborative team's facilitator, what strategies did you implement? So this one's all about the strategies to make sure that voice is heard and that everybody has a meaningful input on the goals. So stick to what we're talking about here. We're only talking about the goals. We're not talking about looking at the data or the exit tickets or any of that stuff. Just how did you set these goals up? And there's the 5-minute video. So I'm going to attach it to this box. Don't forget to attach it. In our first meeting, we acknowledged that. I'm going to let you read all that. There's your 45 seconds. You can pause there. And don't forget, you don't get full credit if you don't do what they say. So it says provide examples, and this video is my example. This one up here said provide examples, and there's the example. So C says, what challenges did you encounter? How, as a team, did you resolve the challenge? So you don't just want it to be you telling people to put their phones up. It has to be about your team. And you also want to have a rationale. We did this because, or this happened because. So you can see how we did this. There's the team producer. She's telling people to put their phone up. She's the shyest one. It all worked out. It worked on the culture. That's the rationale for this approach. The approach worked because. What steps did you take to reach consensus among the members? So this is the one where you were going to do something like a fist of 5. You may have worked with a consensus method in your classroom. We passed the talking stick, then we did fist of 5. When somebody showed the 3, then we slowed down and we worked back up to everybody have 4 or 5. And there's the rationale this approach kept. And all of this came straight from the PLC stuff by Solution Tree. I've been trained in it. I've tried not to heavily lay it down on top of all the work inside these action steps, because that's something you can write about if you've had that training. If not, then you can Google it, right? So here are the write-ups for in the examples, the library of exemplars. And this one goes into Common Core, which we don't do Common Core here, but it does talk about how people are directly involved and what this person did to ensure they're involved. And it talks about how the team has a voice. It talks about alignment. Oh, that's the voice part. I think this was to make sure that they all had a job, everybody had a part, they were actively engaged. And there's the team members with a voice. The biggest challenge was the first test. We had a department average that was lower. We knew, blah, blah, blah. The test was 45 minutes long. And so this affected their goals. It's going to make them have to be longer. We decided the units were larger amounts of sections. So they talk about the biggest challenge to how they set their goals was here. So she took it a little bit differently. It works. Remember, we talked about here, identification of responsibility. When you get to the rubric, I don't think the rubric is on here. The rubric talks in depth about how to really push it up to level 4. But remember, 3 is enough to pass. So I just included the photo of the whole prompt once more. So you can see the whole overarching idea is working with a collaborative team during planning. And I want to tell you again, you've got this, just like last time. If PASL were a picnic, anyone can do it. It's not a picnic. You can do it. Hang in there. I'm ready for you to go take that picnic.